Hey everyone, I am T-Rex and today I'm doing my review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This is my second review in my trilogy review of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes trilogy. So this is the second one. I just did my review for Rise of the Planet of the Apes that came out last Saturday. And the card is right there up there if you want to click it and see that. And my review for War of the Planet of the Apes comes out this Friday. So check that out when that comes out. And with that out of the way, let's talk about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. First off, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is a sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and instantly you feel that this movie is very different in a very different world. In the last one, it felt like our human world just with apes in it, and now it is definitely more of an apocalyptic world with a virus that is making monkeys incredibly smart and killing humans. And this movie is all about the relationship between the humans and the apes and how they're going to exist together in this world. The story is also a very personal narrative, as it is almost completely focused on the apes. It's about them learning to survive in this new world, and for me that was fascinating and maybe the most interesting part. I think the world building of the apes world was so good, and I love what they did with the world building. And I love how they showed what also happened to the humans, and it really looked like how humans would react if there was an apocalypse and apes taken over. I love the setting, and I really loved how the narrative was able to play with it as well. Now this movie moves along at a very good pace. It's a little slower, but I really enjoyed it. I never really felt bored in it, but it felt like a pretty typical movie with the type of first act, second act, third act. But at the end of the second act, with a bang, the film pivots and completely turns into a different direction. This led to a third act that I was not expecting, but for me, I just did not enjoy as much as the other two. The first two acts were slower and much more character focused, and really focused on that tension between the humans and the apes. And the third act happens, it feels like it goes, oh, big mo, explosion, big boom, uh-oh, buildings falling over, uh-oh, apes on horses, oh, there's machine guns, uh-oh, something else happened. And it's like, whoa, what just happened? How did we get here? The first two acts were so slow and character focused, and in the end, it just goes boom boom mode. Now, I know some people are gonna like that more than me, but I was really way more interested in that quiet character film between the apes and the tension with the humans. And I didn't really need some crazy explosion Hollywood finale, and for me, that really brought down the film. Now, that said, I don't hate the final act, but I just wish it went in the other direction. Now, the tone of the film, though, throughout that third act, still stays consistent with that kind of darker tone. And this film is much more darker than the original. I think the third act was also able to keep that tone, so that was good. I think the tone is very good throughout the entire film, and I really liked that it was a much darker take than the other film. And also, the characters in this film feel a lot hardened since the last one. Caesar is now not a young ape leading people. He is a full adult leading a tribe and making sure he can really help these apes he's in charge of. Boba has also developed, and now he's Caesar's right-hand man. And you also have Maurice, who is a much more wise kind of ape, and it feels like he has grown alongside with Caesar. You also have Rocket also feeling that he has also grown as ape. You really get these monkeys and apes that you saw in the first film, and it really feels like they've grown and matured. They also do a great job of showing the difference of time between the last film and this one. The way they're able to do the ape CGI makes them look a little bit older. And also, let's talk about the CGI. It's amazing. I mean, if you thought Rise of the Planet of the Apes had good CGI, this one blows it out of the park. The CGI here is amazing, and it's great at being able to show these characters look older. I think the apes were fantastic in this film and are definitely the strong point when it comes to characters. But once again, I think the human characters are severely lacking in this film. In this film, you have Jason Clarke and his family, and they are just so boring. I did not care about them at all. When they're interacting with the apes, I just couldn't care less about them. They were not even close to as charismatic or at least interesting as James Franco in this film, or nowhere close to as interesting as the Colonel in the sequel to this film, War for the Planet of the Apes. The only human that was remotely interesting to me was Gary Oldman. He's not in the film enough where I'm like, oh, he really stood out like James Franco did. I just think Gary Oldman was the best character in this film. And yeah, it's kind of a bummer that the humans aren't good in this that much. I think that they did a great job developing the apes, and luckily we spend the most amount of time with the apes. But the humans, when they're on screen, definitely bring it down. They're just not as interesting, and in my opinion, they were very underdeveloped, which sucks because they are in the movie kind of a lot. And this film is at its best. It rocks. The atmosphere and setting, I think, instantly are better in the original, and the fact that they focus more on the apes was a great improvement over the original. I think the apes are good, if not better. It's just, I think they could have done a much less Hollywood-ish third act. I know that they could have gone in a different direction, but they kind of went in the big boom boom mode, and I didn't like that as much. And this film feels so different compared to other Hollywood blockbusters, so it feels really weird that they kind of went with a third act that felt like just your typical ending to a Hollywood blockbuster movie. This film is at its best. It's straight up amazing, but I think there are enough problems for me that lead to me not calling it a masterpiece. with that, I'm going to say that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is good. I had a fun time with this movie. I definitely enjoyed it more than Rise, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as everyone else did when people were calling it a masterpiece. I'm just not there. This is why I would love to hear your opinion of the film down below in the comments section. I know our opinions are different, so I'd love to hear yours. Also remember to share this video with a friend who likes apocalyptic virus movies with apes in them. Anyways, remember my review for War of the Planet of the Apes comes out this Friday, and when that comes out, I'll see you then. Bye.